Hello, everybody, and we could call this return roll call.
There you go.
Return, yep, return roll call is when they at the end of the day, at the end of the tour, the sergeant goes by and makes sure that all the cops that started the tour uh, left and went home or somewhere else in court or what have you. So, Mike, yeah, so some bad news. The police they just held a presser and they said that. It's Riley Strain. They said a worker in one of the, I don't know if it's a factory or whatever, down the river, down the road, that they lifted up, so I guess, some debris and the body came up.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. Unfortunately, we thought this is the way the case was going to be resolved. We dreaded that he might be in the water, and I mean, finally, the family will have resolution. That's a good thing. So yeah, very sad.
Yes, the police chief specifically mentioned that the body that they found, he said he used the word as Riley Strain, but he said he was
Hmm.
wearing that shirt, that white and black or that white and brown shirt, which
Yeah,
I believe the chief did that for two reasons. One, because that's probably the biggest identifying marker now at the time, right? Because he probably doesn't have his ID on him anymore, right? We know that he lost his at least his debit card, and but I think he also the chief specifically talked about the shirt that he was wearing because one of the news agencies or however this rumor started, and we addressed that this morning as a rumor that there was a homeless man seen wearing that same exact shirt. So it's an important thing to remember going forward, guys, that you have to be careful about sharing some of this information that you hear.
yeah, and that was picking up speed too. That rumor, and it potentially could have endangered. I think we discussed it. Some person that's undomiciled and might be targeted if, God forbid, he was wearing something similar. So that's what we talk about. That's what we stress how it's important to work with facts and not any kind of rumors. And luckily, that was dispelled quickly, and it looks like they recovered Riley's body with the shirt on. So, and I'm sure that's going to help identify him. And again, very sad.
Yeah, it's a sad situation, but Mike and I have spoken on, offline. We talk about certain things too, but there's certain things you just don't say on the air, so to speak. I mean, there's certain things you do it, and specifically when we spoke about this case on Wednesday, Mike, we stressed the fact about the family had actually come out and said, "Hey, guys, we're like listening, we're watching what's going on. Please don't say things that like people were calling serial killers and everything else." And oh boy, this poor family.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in kind of like defense of that news outlet, they're just presenting the whatever they hear, and it was unreliable information, and unfortunately, again, bad information. So
Yeah, and I didn't anticipate that they were going to find him today, of course, like everybody
yeah.
else, right? But thanks for jumping on so quickly. So Cleveland Rots are saying that Brian Enton, that's from News Nation, reported his phone, watch, and wallet are with his body.
Mm.
And like I said, I think I spoke about this Monday without you. I did a solo show, and I said that people's like the debit card, the debit card. I said, well, listen, I mean, we've all done that where you had something in your pocket with your phone, and you pick up your phone, and it sticks sometimes to the thing, and then it'll fall out, or depending on the case, right? Something could stick, and you don't even know it. And if he was intoxicated in any way, right? He would definitely have not found that or seen that, or he could have gotten it if he fell and it fell out of his pocket. So there's a lot of what ifs kind of thing in there, but the family is. I can't imagine what they're going through. I mean, we've only dealt with that, knock on wood, in the capacity of being cops, and you're dealing with with the family and not having to do this on a personal note. Uh,
Yeah, and I think they reported right now they don't see any kind of foul play, and I'm sure they're going
yes.
to confirm that when they look at the body. They're gonna do a thorough examination. I'm sure they're gonna see if there's any kind of like DNA or any kind of like injuries. It appears like no injuries at this time. So you think he just fell off the bridge, Joe? What do you think?
Yeah, it's either fell off the bridge or he fell down the embankment and just rolled in right into the water. And maybe he hit his head on a rock. I mean, you saw those pictures of what it looks like underneath. It was very rocky and was very steep. So if you even try to
Yeah,
transverse that, it would be even within your right mind and not intoxicated. I think it would have
yeah.
been a very difficult task to do so. But yeah, I mean, I firmly believe that this was accident in regards to this from the beginning. But
Mm,
you always have to keep your options open, right? We know that. And here's the other thing. Now, this is going to be the next big internet rumor, right? It was very rocky, this area. The chance of the body banging off things, whatever. So there's going to be these artifacts, what they call in in the autopsy, where they have these artifacts that happen after he dies. So the question will come, of course. Well, he had an injury to his head, or he had an injury to his body. Yes, he was attacked. Whatever. Everyone should just hold the line there, because this body's been in the water for what, almost 2 weeks or 2 weeks or so, bouncing
yeah,
off of things and doing things. From what they said in the press conference, the worker, I guess there was a piece of debris kind of thing, and like lifted up, and that's when they uncovered the body. So that's part of the thing. So yes, there's going to be two important things out of this. Of course, the autopsy, which is going to be difficult because the body's been in the water a couple of weeks, but the water's cold, which slows down the decomposition. So that's part of the thing. But the most important aspect of this is going to be a diatom test, which tests the fact that the person drowned, right? If they were alive going into the water, which is going
mhm,
to be a big thing that people should look for, and also the toxicology, what was in his system.
yeah, yeah. Wow, that poor kid, that poor family. Um, I hate to say that it could have been avoided, if he just stayed with his friends and his friends
Well, his
perhaps
friends
just
stay with him, yeah.
stay with him. Yeah, I got to stress again that don't be afraid to call for help. If you're unsteady on your feet, you're intoxicated, ask anybody for help. Ask somebody to call the police, and to avoid us. This is going to be a lesson for everybody, for all the young people and for the parents out there, just to remind their kids to be careful and not to drink too much and to stay with the group and be safe.
Yeah, so Mandy, he got kicked out of the bar, the new Luke Bryan bar, allegedly for being highly intox, right? So we saw the videos of him walking around, and he looked highly intox for a while there. The only time he didn't look intox was when he sobered up for that 30 seconds where the cop was there, which that adrenaline rush, I guess, can straighten you out when you see the cops walk around, because public intoxication, I'm sure, is at least a violation in Nashville.
Think about that. This might be something that might have to change for these drinking establishments. They might have to take more responsibility. I know he's an adult. I know he's 22, but if you see he's visibly unsteady on his feet and heavily intoxicated, maybe take some responsibility and make sure he gets in a cab. Don't just let him out. I mean, Nashville, that main street's pretty busy. Lucky he didn't walk right out into traffic. So, you know, just maybe a little more responsibility. You release, especially a young person. So I know what they're thinking. They just don't want anything to happen in their establishment. But listen, you're letting this guy go in public, and he's staggering, can't walk. Just get him a
Yeah.
cab or make sure one of his friends escort him. So I think all establishments should be more mindful of this, so that we could prevent something so easy to prevent.
Well, exactly, and I agree with you, Mike, 100%. Right, a cab is something. I know people have said, well, throw him in an Uber, whatever. Ubers, we know it could be extremely expensive, and nobody's paying for that. And if he doesn't have an Uber account and apps, they're not dealing with that. Taxi cabs, whole other situation. And specifically, if you just tell the taxi cab driver what hotel I'm at, they'll take you there directly. But maybe that you take it just a step further, Mike, and say, if they're with a group of people, you say, you with this guy, you're out too. Throw them
Yeah,
all out. This way,
yeah,
even if they didn't do anything wrong, I understand it's, you're taking money away from the company. I don't care. right? Because there's still going to be a lawsuit on this place anyway.
Oh,
It's
100%.
it's a brand new location. They just get their liquor license not too long ago, so I'm sure they are like really concerned about that, and the fact that he's a famous person that owns it too. I don't think there's any chance of this not ending up in a civil lawsuit. So the question comes down to: was it worth the $10 cab fare that would have cost you? Right? Get the kid out and get him into his thing for $10, or you're going to deal with millions of dollars in a potential lawsuit. I'm assuming anyway.
Oh yeah, seriously. I mean, we were just in Nashville. Actually, the Ubers and the lifts were super reasonable. I think we stayed in Midtown. I'm straying a little bit, but it just cost like $7 to go from Main Street from downtown to Midtown. It was like $7. So yeah, to avoid all this, yeah, the company pay for an Uber, pay whatever, just put him in somewhere so he can be safe.
Right. So, Poke Mom asked a good question. Can you explain toxicology after being this long in the water? Will it matter? Being in the water really doesn't matter because it's in your bloodstream. It's in your tissues of your body. So yeah, the salt water, if it is salt water, uh, not that Mickey. Wow, thank you very much for that. Let's be kind to others, not judge a book by its cover. This was preventable. Breaks my heart. The next person you pass, just be kind. Yeah, absolutely, Mickey. We don't know exactly what everybody is always going through. And what we try to do here on True Crime with the Sarge, and Mike and I try to do that, is we try to keep that in focus because we've dealt with family members on a different level and we know what they're going through at that point, and we try not to make it worse for them than it already is. Unfortunately, we don't see that everywhere, but I really don't care what other people do or what other people say about us. I really don't care.
Just
If they're
yeah, like she's saying, let's just look out for each other as people looking out for other people. I'll give you an example. I was at a bar last Monday. I was hanging out. There's like it's like a open stories, open mic thing, and there's this kid sitting next to me, probably not much older than Riley, probably about the same age, and somebody was singing the song, and the kid next to me, young kid, he just starts crying, right? Just starts crying, like I can hear him sobbing, and I look at him. Now it's just me, my girlfriend didn't go with me, and it's just him and other patrons, but I see this kid visibly upset, and I just put my hand on his shoulder. He doesn't know me. I go, are you good? Are you okay? And he goes, yeah, I'm good. I don't know if the song triggered something, but just be human and just check on somebody when they're upset. Maybe that's all they need. And if they need something, maybe they'll ask you. So I don't know, just be mindful.
Yeah, listen, I was never a big bar goer when I was a kid and doing all those things, especially when I knew I was going to go into the police department. You stay the hell away from bars because they're always a problem, especially
Yeah.
if you're gonna have, you don't bring your girlfriend to these things and because, invariably you're gonna end up into a fight. But, and for those that do enjoy, I mean, I cast no judgments on people that the kids specifically that do this. Is just, but one thing that like Mike and I have learned over the years of working in the city is that bad things happen at these locations, especially nothing happens after 2 nothing good after 2 a.m. And this happened at like 9:30 at night. So this is not even like, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning bit.
Sad situation, totally avoidable. Um, you know, talk to your kids. You know,
Yeah.
um, you know, guide them properly. Unfortunately, use this as an example of what could happen, and let's just all be careful out there.
Yeah, and the issue that also too, like these frats, right? What were they? What were they spoken to? What was going on with them? What lessons are to be learned for these frat parties, right? These things are going on. We know that there's hazing and there's all kinds of crazy stuff that happens in other cases, and to be able to control that, we've seen some terrible things. Uh, but like everything else, they have to there's somebody has to be the adult in the room and be able to take control of this. I guarantee you, there's a 23-year-old within that group who's already 40, right? And so we know people like that. You're 22, but you're acting like 40. There has to be somebody in that group that's got to step up to the plate and say, "Go, we can't do this. We have to." Somebody's got to go with him. Oh, let him go. He'd be fine. No. If you are saying, if you have that intuition or you got that hair on the back of your neck that
Yep.
there's some, go with them. The hell with everybody else.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing to think about. The kids, the students that were with him. Let's check on them because I'm sure they're feeling pretty guilty now, and maybe they need some kind of a therapist or something to talk to them
Counseling.
to debrief. Yeah, because I can only imagine the guilt they feel. I mean, they're young people, they're kids. I'm sure they didn't expect this to happen, but it did. And yeah, let's watch those young people, because we don't want any more tragedies happening because of what happened to Riley.
Yeah, this is going to follow them the rest of their lives, right?
Yeah.
They're all anonymous to us, right? Nobody knows who they are, so that doesn't matter. But for them, this is going to be, for some, is going to be an internal struggle for them the rest of their lives.
Yeah, yeah, it's a horrible feeling, losing a friend, losing a relative for the family. Yeah, everyone's going to need some kind of help to get through this.
And Laura G says, I was EMS, so I was always a designated driver. I spent too much time cleaning up the consequences of drunk driving to allow someone to drive and leave impaired. Yes, Laura, thank you for doing what you did. It is definitely something that we all have to take into consideration. And I think the fact that he was on foot kind of put everybody else at ease, that there was going to be zero chance that he was going to, have a problem, right? The hotel was only, I think, a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, that's terrible. It's just terrible. It's just terrible to think that this poor kid walked through Nashville and nobody helped him. It's sad. It's a commentary on our society right now, that we're always expecting somebody else will look out for him. Somebody else will take care of him. Kind of like the Kew Gardens homicide.
The
Yes.
bystander effect. Yeah, that was
Yes.
actually a quiz. That was actually a quiz question not too long ago. The bystander effect, and yes, we know that there was problems with the investigation, but it's still something that is to be thought about. Like, you drive by the car accident on the highway. Oh, somebody must have called. Somebody must have done something.
And sadly, that happens a lot in denser societies. I find now, we both live in Bucks County. I find that people in smaller communities are more helpful, are more willing to help. It's happened to me when I drove off the ditch, popped both tires. I couldn't believe it, coming from New York, that these Pennsylvanians, two of them, stopped and just asked, do you need help? And I that's why I love my community, and I wish we could do that everywhere, and I know, because you are in a city like New York or Nashville or LA, it's much easier to ignore somebody that might help. But let this be a lesson that, just a nice, friendly word or offer for assistance could prevent a tragedy like this.
And there were opportunities when you saw the videos. There's opportunities for people, right? I mean, listen, if you think about all the missed opportunities, you're dealing with a situation where, you can Monday morning quarterback this to death. But what we're looking at is just saying somebody could seize on one of those opportunities. So every time you do something to help somebody, they could have been avoiding a major catastrophe. That's the way I look at things sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't hurt to just offer assistance or ask if they need help. You don't want to help, just ask, and notify the police, or just call the police. Listen, I see this young man walking. He fell down on the sidewalk when he ran. Maybe he needs help. Just call the police. We'll help him.
And then, even the police had that quick interaction with him too, right? You look at it as another missed opportunity, but
Yeah.
He seemed to be fine. That's the thing, right? He seemed, that second of lucidity threw everybody off.
Yeah, and I'm sure that police officer feels bad now, that he had that, few moments to talk to Riley, and again, a missed opportunity. So I'm sure he feels a little bad too. So.
And even, not that Mickey says, so true, Mike. I had a flat tire not too long ago. Probably 40 people passed me. For someone stopped to ask me if they could help. Luckily, I knew how to change my own tire. Yeah. And that's another skill that you should teach your kids how to do, because I've pulled over and helped people change their tires who were looking at it, and some of them much younger than me,
Yeah.
But you know what? If you never were taught, you never learned. Believe me, it's like I said, adults that didn't know how to change a tire.
Yeah, I got AAA, and I've offered, like, if sometimes the tire just won't come off, it's frozen. But I've offered, because if you have AAA, all you have to do is be there for that person, and AAA will help them. They don't even have to be the member. So if you have that, just offer that. Especially if someone's stranded, like in the rain or the snow. Just be a good person.
Yes. Yes, and I say that, I know they say it all the time about, be kind. You never know what people are going through. But you know
Yeah.
what? Just try to do. I try to every day. I try to do something. Right? There's always something that you can do to try to help improve somebody else's life. Sometimes it could just be hello.
I just want to stress also that most police officers, this is what we do. Unfortunately, what's covered in the media and in the papers is always the negative stuff, but never all the good things that our, brothers and sisters do every day that goes unnoticed. Even this current climate of anti-police. So let's appreciate that law enforcement that does the job the right way every day.
Yep. Mike Klett says I've helped people with his AAA card. Carrie says that she has AAA. Yep. Um, if you
Yeah, it
can,
doesn't cost you anything but your membership. You just got to be there. AAA will show up, change that tire for that person, and nothing
right,
extra.
right. And how many times have we seen people get hit by a car on the side of the road?
Oh God,
And
yeah.
Southern Charm, thank you for joining and being a channel member. There's lots of new perks that you can take a look at over there. If you're just joining us now, we have 120 people. We were just they held the presser right before we went live about 20 minutes ago. They found a body believed to be Riley Strain. The chief specifically said it was Riley. He was also said he was wearing the shirt, that white and black or brown shirt, whatever that color was. It was a two-color shirt, which would then cancel out all the rumors and everything else about a homeless man wearing the shirt and all the other crazy stuff that you saw on the internet. And and that's why we don't respond to stuff like that, right? Because we wait for the official words to try to do things. Listen, we can speculate all day long. That's what we used to do for a living. But
Yeah.
putting it out in the public presents a problem, specifically after the family requested everybody to not do that.
Yeah, news media like that puts it out there, almost legitimizes it. So, and it was bad info. So, lack of, unfortunately, responsibility on their part. And that's what we were talking about the last show, right? Our Crime Stopper tips. Tips what we need. We need facts. We need something that's an investigative lead, not rumors, not theories. So this is what we have to filter through when we have a Crime Stopper line. And unfortunately, you get a lot of phone calls that investigators have to sort and vet what information is good to work with, and that's investigations. We have to do that. It doesn't help when the media uh, gives this bad information out, because then I'm sure they got 10 million more calls about that black and white shirt.
Yep. And yes, Carly, yeah, the toxicology reports won't be affected by him being in the water. Wow, Sarcasm just donated 10 memberships. Thank you so much for doing that. So we're gonna have 10 new members in there. Make sure you check out all the perks that are involved in that. We're just
I got a question, because I don't know how it works. How does the 10 membership work? She donated 10 membership. How does that work for your viewers?
well, you have to have memberships enabled on your subscription to this channel, which is free, of course, to join. Uh, and then what happens is if somebody donates, like Sarcasm for Fun just did, if you have it enabled, it randomly picks people in the chat to become
Oh
members,
wow,
and you become a channel member, and then you get
that's awesome.
access. Then you get access to additional perks. So I have the where's the crime scene stuff I started. They get extra quiz questions every month, and a couple other little surprises here and there. And
Can we add? Can we add like my stories as an additional perk that non-members don't get? Because I got 10 million stories, and you're gonna love them all.
well, we could do a members only show for that.
Oh yeah. Oh
So we could do
man,
a member. We could do a
sign up
members
for
only.
that.
Okay,
Will be
good. So we'll.
unfiltered. You got to be a little bit. Be prepared, because it's gonna be funny stories.
All right. Well, deal. You're on with that. So just so winding this down a little bit, we got sad news. They found Riley Strain today in the Cumberland River, downriver. It was found by a worker at one of the, I guess, the factories on the river itself. And so we just went through a couple of things. Like I said, guys, if you go out with your friends and this and that, I don't care how old you are. If somebody gets thrown out or somebody wants to, never leave anybody behind. Simple as that. And you can't. And like I said, if you want to look up a case from New York City where it was even worse than this, was the Amet Sangian case, where they left her behind and terrible things happened to her. So you have to just be aware of things like that. Specifically, oh boy, sarcasm just gifted another 10 memberships. That's 20
Wow.
memberships in the
Wow.
so
So generous. Thank you very much.
wow, I'm totally shocked in there. Sarcasm for fun. Thank you
We
so
really
much.
appreciate it. Yeah. I was in the gym. So I was in the gym and Joe messages me, hey, they just found him. And that's why I'm in this garb. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do a live. That's important. Let's tell our members about it. So
Yeah, no, it's definitely an important aspect. I didn't anticipate you. I know you have the wedding tonight, and this is the last thing that we went from the morning to this, within a short period of time, and it's just sad news. Unfortunately, we felt that way it was going that way, but we didn't want to dampen anybody's in the families. You know, Sarcasm's been a member for 1 month. There, she said we know more people getting this information. So thank you, Sarcasm, for helping this channel grow so much, and for your support and everybody's support in this not so Mickey this earlier. Yeah, I'm kind of overwhelmed by the generosity of people, and it's I'm like, yeah, it's yeah. Let's say I can't even talk for a second. You leave me speechless for a second there.
but
But
we truly appreciate it. Hey, and we do this for you guys. We do it because we want to share our experience and our thoughts from our investigative background, and we really appreciate you guys for contributing too, because a lot of you guys would make great investigators. I see your theories and your suggestions. I read them after the fact, because I just want to say I don't see the chat because I'm on my phone. I'm not as computer savvy to have a laptop that has the camera, but yeah, we do it. We do it because it's good. It's entertaining for you guys and educational. A lot of you guys said it's educational, so we want to educate you on the procedures that we know that we've done in our career.
yeah, so Sarcasm says just buy someone's coffee and see how your day and theirs changes. Yes, I do that quite often. I'll buy a gift card and I'll leave it with the register. And I did it once, and the card lasted all day long because the next person said, "Yeah, add another 5 to it, add another 10 to it." And when I went back to the coffee shop the next day, they told me what happened. Like the thing went almost all day long. People just kept on paying it forward. So
Wow.
sometimes that $5 or $10 that you could do for somebody changes somebody's day, right? Or you never know what they're going through, and it's you can not to be too hyperbolic, but you could save somebody's life, right? So you don't know what that person was thinking about doing that day, and you show
Yeah,
them a
just
little
yeah,
kindness.
just a kind word or just a check. Everything good. You never know. People just might open up because they might be going through something that they just need another person to speak with. So
Maxie Sue is in Tennessee right now, and when this turns now attention to the other missing person from Hendersonville, which is about, I think it was, they said, about a half an hour or so from Nashville. Mike Ladd just became a member. Thank you, Mike Ladd. Uh, so that's the Sebastian Rogers, that 15-year-old autistic boy that we spoke about. It's still missing. He's been missing now even longer. So I think it's the next focus case that they look for, and try to find him too, because that family's going through a lot.
I fear that might have some foul play. I hate to predict that, but that's just unusual that this kid disappeared and nobody knows where he went. That's
Barefoot and leaving the house with a flashlight or whatever. That's the
yeah,
story. There's a
yeah.
video of a flashlight. We went through that. And I think it was Monday I went through that. But yeah, there's some there's some stuff going on here that we don't know. I mean, the Madeline Soto case. This case was awful. We spoke about the prison break up in Idaho, or out in Idaho, and so we just hope that Riley's family, they're going to need probably some counseling too, and let's hope that they get what they need, including their privacy. Right, that's the big thing now, the privacy. I hope that the media doesn't hound them.
Yeah,
Go.
God, I hope they don't. That would be so unprofessional and disrespectful. Let this family mourn. I mean, um, it's thank God they finally got closure and they can lay him to rest.
Yes. Like I said, there's going to be a part of for this case now. There's going to be an autopsy. There's going to be toxicology. There's going to be all kinds of stuff that's going to happen over the next few days, and of course there'll be lots of rumors and speculations flying around. We won't be part of that, but we'll wait for the official words to come out, and then we will join. Mike will join us back on here, and we'll get together and we'll break down what the documents say and what they really mean.
I like this, that we do something that's breaking, and I like that you want to call it return roll call. I think that's pretty cool. I know our law enforcement brothers and sisters totally get that, and now your viewers will get that return roll call. That's perfect.
So he Caroline says, "You guys are the media now. You're not cops anymore. Adapt." Yeah, well, we're trying, but you never, you never shake that other stuff after Mike spent. So you spent what, over 30 years?
Yes.
So yeah, you just don't shake that. But we try. But we try to do so in a respectful manner, so to speak, in regards to some of these cases that we talk about, because it's they deserve it.
There's a lot of guys out there that, like, that are retired. I just want the viewers to know that are retired and they're not on the media, but they're still cops. They're still looking out for people. They're still observing. Even as a retired members of the service, our heads always on a swivel, looking out for bad guys. And it's a lot of people out there. There's millions of retirees out there still doing the right thing, even though we're not getting paid for it anymore. We're still looking out for people.
Yep.
So
And
just
there's a number of. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead,
yeah, I was
finish.
gonna say EMS and FD personnel and everybody's still out there. Military, still trying to do the right thing. So
Yes, like I said, and there's a lot of retired guys that have some great shows here on YouTube too. So there's plenty of stories, unfortunately, for everybody, and everyone does a pretty good job.
yeah,
Folks, well, thanks for joining us on this sad impromptu follow-up on the Riley Strain case. I thank you guys for joining in, and all of the donations just came in. I really appreciate that, and we're gonna live what Sarcasm just said too, right? Pay it forward, change somebody's day, and change somebody's life, maybe. You guys, Mike, enjoy the wedding tonight. You guys have a good day. I know it's sad, but we'll try again next week or during the weekend. You guys take care.
take care, everybody.
Bye.